Boy, we're in luck tonight. This next act features a young and exceptionally talented poet whose works have been translated into at least one language. Directly from his last gig at the Methodist Church Fair in Hoboken, New Jersey, please give him a KGC welcome. Chuck Collins. Hey. Thank you for the kind introduction. I have two poems tonight. One I wrote, one I didn't. The first one I wrote. It's called Getting Older. Farther back to remember after every passing year, first pet, first sled, first bike, and first beer. Cousins, neighbors, and classmates, oh so dear. You can see their faces, but their names disappear. Family trips you have taken, both near and far, crowded in the back seat of Dad's old car. You still have the photos, they have faded a bit. They are your treasures, you have to admit. The early years of school help to open your eyes to the real difference between girls and guys. Your very first sweetheart and your very first kiss. Your memories refuses to never forget this. Then time for marriage, soon a child on the way. You work very hard with little time to play. Years pass by quickly. The children all have grown. You pray for happiness for the seeds that you've sown. But before you know it, it's time to retire. The lucky ones buy a home on Castle, Barron, or Squire. We have made our last snowball or shoveled a walk. Off in the distance is that ever-ticking clock. When we were young, we looked to the years ahead. Now it's the yesteryears we cherish instead. We have made our memories, we think in the past. But what of tomorrow, next week, we ask? They're not as important as one would think, as you give your grandchild a great big wink. To this point in life, we have made our way. Glancing back at our footsteps, we greet each day. Senior citizens, they call us, but it's just a word. Even this last month, last week, is kind of blurred. We'll keep moving forward the very best we can until that day comes when God sends his moving van. This next poem was written by Bill Kearns, an Australian. And he wrote a poem about these plastic chairs. You probably have one at home. It has the slats, where you sit down. And when you sit down, those slats sometimes they open up a little bit. The title of the poem is The Entrapment. The alternate title is The Terrifying but Tragic True Tale of Trevor's Testicle. Trevor is on a mission to consumer affairs, trying to get a title ban on plastic stack of chairs. He reckons they are dangerous, a serious threat to life, because it was through a plastic chair that he got into strife. It was at the Tamworth Festival, a concert in the park. Ken and Trev were there with beer to last till dark. An esky full of coolers, Trevor was without a care, in stubbies, thongs, and t-shirt on his plastic stack of chair. But as he stretched his legs out, his left crown jewel rolled free and dropped straight through the chair seat, a real catastrophe. But Trevor remained unaware of his dire situation until they gave the singer a standing ovation. As Trevor came up to his feet, he gave a fearsome yell, because tethered to his testicle, the chair came up as well. He grabbed the chair with both hands and they crashed back to the ground. But the Erie family jewel was firmly stuck, he quickly found. Well, he tried to extract the encased jewel, but then began to curse, because everything he seemed to do only made things worse. Well, Trevor's mate Ken was laughing, fit to go right off his brain. Ken's tears were from laughter, but Trevor's was from pain. Ken produced a Stanley knife. Trevor's mouth went dry. Ken said, "I'll only cut the chair," but Trevor wouldn't let him try. Well, Ken climbed under the chair and tried to poke things through. It's times like this you find out what your mates will do for you. Well, they pulled and pushed and prodded, but all efforts were in vain. Trevor's nut was red and raw and giving aches and pain. All this unwanted attention was no good, you realize, because Trevor's tortured testicle swelled up to twice its size. Well, the word spread quickly through the park about the situation. People tried to get a glimpse of Trevor's threatened castration. Moms and dads and kids and dogs of every shape and age, Trevor got more attention than the singer on the stage. Little kids were pointing. Dogs were trying to have a smell. Trevor tried to cover up and said, "Go to bloody hell." Poor Bob needs an ice pack was the only good advice. So they set Trevor over his esky with his egg in the ice. Well, someone called an ambulance and they drove through the crowd. Trev was drinking brandy rum and swearing very loud. But then they stopped laughing as they carted Trevor away to a hospital where he became the sketch of the day. Now Trev has recovered with both jewels in place. Don't offer him a plastic chair if you value your face. But next year at the festival, Trevor will be there, wearing tight undies, long trousers, on his canvas fold-out chair.